Imagine a nation built on dreams of equality, yet scarred by centuries of chains and shadows. What if one man's journey shattered the unbreakable glass ceiling, forcing America to confront its deepest wounds? In this video, we'll dive into the extraordinary story of Barack Obama, the first black president, and how his rise ignited a racial reckoning that still echoes today. Buckle up as we unravel the hope, the hurdles, and the hard truths that defined an era. Our tale begins in the smoky haze of America's past, where the air was thick with injustice. Picture this: it's the 1950s in the Deep South. A young black boy, let's call him James, huddles in the back of a segregated bus, his eyes wide with fear as white passengers glare. Lynchings hang like ghosts in the trees, and whites-only signs mock the promise of freedom. James grows up dodging the venom of Jim Crow laws, where a wrong glance could cost a life. Fast forward to November 4th, 2008. That same James, now an elder with weathered hands, watches the election results on a flickering TV. Tears stream down his face as Barack Obama steps onto the stage in Chicago's Grant Park, declaring victory. If there is anyone out there who still doubts that America is a place where all things are possible, Obama says, his voice steady and resonant, tonight is your answer. For James and millions like him, this wasn't just politics. It was a miracle, a defiant slap against history's cruel grip. But who was this man who dared to rewrite the script? Born in 1961 in Honolulu, Hawaii, to a Kenyan father and a white American mother from Kansas, Barack Hussein Obama embodied the melting pot America claimed to be. His parents' interracial marriage was illegal in many states at the time, a quiet rebellion in itself. After his father left, young Barry, as he was nicknamed, moved with his mother to Indonesia, soaking in diverse cultures before returning to Hawaii to live with his grandparents. There, in the island's vibrant mix, he grappled with his identity, feeling like an outsider in his own skin. High school led to Occidental College in Los Angeles, then Columbia University in New York, where the city's raw energy and inequality sparked something deep within him. He dove into books by Malcolm X and James Baldwin, wrestling with questions of race and belonging. Graduating, Obama didn't chase Wall Street gold. Instead, he headed to Chicago's South Side, a neighborhood ravaged by factory closures and poverty. As a community organizer for the Developing Communities Project, he knocked on doors in Altgeld Gardens, a crumbling public housing complex where residents battled asbestos and despair. I learned that change doesn't come from the top down, he'd later reflect, but from ordinary people standing up. These streets forged his fire, teaching him to listen, to bridge divides, and to fight for the forgotten. From there, Harvard Law School beckoned, where he became the first black president of the Harvard Law Review, a feat that turned heads nationwide. Back in Chicago, he met Michelle Robinson, a brilliant lawyer who grounded him with her no-nonsense wisdom. They married in 1992, building a family amid his budding political dreams. Obama's ascent was a masterclass in grit and strategy. He taught constitutional law at the University of Chicago, then won a seat in the Illinois State Senate in 1996, championing ethics reform and health care for kids. But it was his 2004 keynote at the Democratic National Convention that launched him into stardom. There's not a liberal America and a conservative America, there's the United States of America. The crowd erupted. Overnight, he was a sensation. Elected to the U.S. Senate that year, he tackled issues like nuclear non-proliferation and veterans care, all while authoring bestsellers like Dreams from My Father and The Audacity of Hope. These books weren't just memoirs, they were blueprints for unity in a fractured land. By 2007, America was reeling. 2 wars raged in Iraq and Afghanistan, draining blood and treasure. The housing bubble burst, plunging the economy into freefall. Racial tensions simmered from Hurricane Katrina's neglect of Black New Orleans to everyday disparities in jobs and justice. Into this storm stepped Obama, announcing his presidential bid on a frigid February day in Springfield, Illinois, the same spot where Lincoln once called for a house divided to stand. His campaign was electric. "Yes, we can" chants echoed from Iowa caucuses to South Carolina primaries. He outmaneuvered Hillary Clinton in a grueling Democratic race, blending tech-savvy grassroots organizing with soaring oratory. Against John McCain, he promised change, ending wars, fixing the economy, and healing divides. On election night, the world watched as blue states lit up the map. Obama won with 365 electoral votes, becoming the 44th president. Fireworks exploded over Grant Park, but beneath the jubilation lurked shadows. Whispers of "he's not American" already brewed, birthed from birther conspiracies that questioned his birth certificate. Racism, it seemed, wasn't ready to bow out. As president, Obama hit the ground running amid chaos. The Great Recession gripped the nation, millions jobless, homes foreclosed. He signed the $789 billion American Recovery and Reinvestment Act, pumping money into infrastructure, green energy, and education. Shovel-ready projects sprang up, saving or creating over 3 million jobs. Then came the auto industry bailout, rescuing General Motors and Chrysler from collapse, preserving heartland factories. Wall Street reform followed with the Dodd-Frank Act, reining in risky banking to prevent future meltdowns. But his crown jewel? The Affordable Care Act, or Obamacare. After months of brutal negotiations, it passed in 2010, expanding coverage to 20 million Americans, banning denial for pre-existing conditions, and letting kids stay on parents' plans till 26. "This is what change looks like," Obama declared at the signing. Yet the White House wasn't a fairy tale. Partisanship poisoned the well. Republicans, led by Mitch McConnell, vowed to make Obama a one-term president, blocking bills and filibustering nominees. The Tea Party surged, fueled by economic angst and veiled racial resentment. Obama's judicial picks, including Sonia Sotomayor, the first Latinx Supreme Court justice, faced unprecedented delays. Internationally, he wound down Iraq troops, surged in Afghanistan, and authorized the raid that killed Osama bin Laden in 2011. "Justice has been done," he announced solemnly from the East Room. Domestically, he pushed for immigration reform via DACA, shielding young dreamers from deportation. But as midterm elections loomed, voter frustration mounted. The 2010 shellacking handed Republicans the House, gridlocking progress. Through it all, Obama's family anchored him. Michelle's garden initiatives fought childhood obesity, while Malia and Sasha grew up under Secret Service watch, a poignant reminder of lost normalcy. His cool demeanor, earning the nickname "No Drama Obama," masked the toll.
Now, let's peel back the layers of resistance, the racial fires that flared, and the complex inheritance he left behind. This isn't just history, it's the mirror America still needs. As Obama's first term unfolded, the venom of racism slithered into the spotlight. Picture the 2009 State of the Union address. As he speaks on healthcare, Congressman Joe Wilson shouts, "You lie," an outburst unheard of in that hallowed chamber. It wasn't isolated. From Tea Party rallies waving signs depicting Obama as a witch doctor or monkey, to Fox News pundits amplifying birther myths peddled by Donald Trump, the attacks were relentless. "Show us the birth certificate," they demanded, ignoring Hawaii's records. Obama, ever composed, released it in 2011, quipping at the White House Correspondents' Dinner, "Now I can get back to the issues that matter, like did we fake the moon landing?" But the damage lingered. These weren't policy critiques, they were assaults on his very legitimacy as a black man in power. Media portrayals amplified the bias. Michelle Obama, a Princeton and Harvard grad turned advocate, was caricatured as an angry black woman for innocuous comments. Their daughters faced scrutiny no other first kids endured. Meanwhile, high-profile racial tragedies tested Obama's tightrope walk. In 2009, Harvard professor Henry Louis Gates Jr. was arrested at his own home, sparking a national debate. Obama invited Gates and the officer for a beer summit, aiming for dialogue, but critics called him racially divisive. Then came 2012. Trayvon Martin, a 17-year-old black teen in a hoodie, shot dead by a neighborhood watchman.
"If I had a son, he'd look like Trayvon," Obama said softly, his voice cracking with empathy. It humanized him, but ignited backlash, accusations of playing the race card. As re-election loomed, Obama navigated a polarized landscape. The economy clawed back, with unemployment dropping from 10% to under 8%. He evolved on same-sex marriage, endorsing it in 2012, a milestone for LGBTQ rights. Against Mitt Romney, his campaign harnessed data and diversity, securing victory with strong Black, Latino, and young voter turnout. But the wind didn't quell the storm. His second term saw gun violence erupt. Sandy Hook in 2012 claimed 26 lives, mostly children. Obama wept openly, pushing for background checks, but Congress stalled. Then Ferguson, Missouri in 2014, Michael Brown, unarmed and Black, killed by a police officer. Protests exploded, birthing Black Lives Matter. "Hands up, don't shoot" chants filled streets, exposing body cams' necessity and systemic bias. Obama responded with nuance, forming the Task Force on 21st Century Policing to reform training and accountability. He commuted sentences for nonviolent drug offenders, addressing the war on drugs' disproportionate impact on Black communities. Yet he balanced universal appeals, like the Clean Power Plan for climate action and the Iran nuclear deal, with targeted equity. In 2015, Charleston, a white supremacist murdered 9 Black churchgoers. Obama sang Amazing Grace at the eulogy, a soul-stirring moment of grace amid grief. That year, the Supreme Court upheld Obamacare and legalized gay marriage nationwide, victories he celebrated. But ISIS rose, Paris attacks shocked, and San Bernardino hit home, testing his counterterrorism strategy of drones and coalitions over boots on the ground. Foreign policy highs included reopening Cuba relations after 50 years and the Paris Climate Accord. Domestically, he protected national monuments and advanced paid leave initiatives. Still, racism's undercurrent persisted. In 2016, as he prepared to leave office, the election of Donald Trump, fueled by birtherism and anti-immigrant rhetoric, felt like a backlash. Obama's farewell address warned of democracy's fragility. We weaken those ties when we allow our political dialogue to become so corrosive. What of his legacy? For many, Obama symbolized boundless possibility. A Black family in the White House inspired generations, from STEM programs for underrepresented kids to diverse cabinet picks like Eric Holder, the first Black Attorney General. Policies like Obamacare endure, covering millions despite repeal attempts. He reshaped the judiciary with 329 judges, including 2 Supreme Court justices. Economically, his stimulus laid foundations for the longest recovery on record. Yet critics argue representation wasn't enough. Income inequality grew, deportations hit records, and drone strikes drew ethical fire. Racial progress stalled. Incarceration rates for Black men remained high sky, and voting rights eroded post-Shelby County versus Holder. Ultimately, Obama's era forced a reckoning. America celebrated a Black president while grappling with enduring bigotry. Movements like BLM gained momentum, conversations on privilege deepened, and politics polarized further. As he and Michelle launched the Obama Foundation, focusing on civic engagement, his story reminds us, change is a relay, not a finish line. Progress bends towards justice, but only if we push. What do you think? Did Obama's presidency heal or highlight America's divides? Drop your thoughts in the comments, like and share if this sparked something in you. Thanks for watching. Until next time, keep questioning, keep learning.